Okay, if we're in the S's, why are we cooking a country that starts with the letter E? And welcome back to Cliffieland. This is weekend country number 166 on our second attempt of cooking the food of every single country in the world. And tonight we're up to the nation of Eswatini. Eswatini is a landlocked nation, relatively small, located in southern Africa, bordered on 3 sides by South Africa and 1 side by Mozambique. But wait a minute, why are we doing Eswatini, a nation that begins with the letter E, now when we're cooking nations starting with the letter S? Well, that's because in April of 2018, the nation changed its name to Eswatini after formerly being known as Swaziland. So Swaziland no more, now Eswatini. The thing is, we cooked it as Swaziland last time 4 years ago, and this time we were already well underway when we got past the letter E, and then abracadabra, they changed their name. So we decided to stick with it here in the letter S, and we hope that's okay. That being said, the nation is a beautiful country with some amazing vistas and really a varying landscape with some of Africa's most amazing animals in it. However, in terms of the food, the cuisine is actually very basic. People generally live on subsistence farming, which means they eat what they can farm and they only supplement that with other things. So it's not the most grand cuisine, but it is very delicious. It features a lot of things like sorghum and maize, as well as stews that tend to be made with goat meat, not things made with beef, generally speaking. There's a whole lot of different porridges. You'll find mealy meal, which is going to come up in this here tonight, as well as game meats and a lot of dried meats, a whole lot of things similar to what's in nearby South Africa. Now, last time we had to deal with this whole thing, so let's take a look and see how things went when we tried things then. Well, 4 years ago on the Global Cooking Challenge, I was only able to cook and stream on one night, and I really wanted to make it count. Now, one of the things that I had a problem with was the fact that a lot of the dishes you couldn't find recipes for. At least I couldn't. And or they also involve things that I either already cooked for nearby nations or will be cooking for other nations in the region as we go. So that presented a problem. Also, I found it really hard to find original recipes for Swaziland, now Eswatini, so that made things really difficult. Additionally, game meat was a particular thing, and I really want to try that, and that leads us to one of the dishes we're doing tonight, which is a roast ostrich steaks. Now, when I went looking last time, I found out that ostrich was $79 a pound, and that meant it was off the menu. So I totally messed things up. I wound up getting beef, which I know I shouldn't have. I got the wrong cut of beef, which I know I shouldn't have, and I totally messed it up, so therefore the meat was just, almost inedible. But that went along with a pumpkin mash that's made with cornmeal, and that leads us to the issue of the recipe. You see, like I said, it was really hard to find recipes for Swaziland, Eswatini, and that meant that I had to find recipes from one website which got its recipe, as good as it might have been, from a different website which is notorious for having recipes of dubious origin, meaning that I catch a lot of flack from people saying that these are not traditional recipes, I don't know where you got that recipe from. So I apologize in advance for that, I just really couldn't find anything else. But that thing I did last time, I did not do it well, I'm going to do it well tonight. Now, I served that whole thing with something which is probably a good deal more typical, which is an avocado peanut salad. That was simple, it was delicious, it was so good. I'm really looking forward to doing that one tonight. And I think that one is certainly more typical of the nation as from what I've read so far. That being said, we need to see what go into tonight's 2 dishes. First, for our Karoo roast ostrich steak, we'll need 2 ostrich steaks thinly sliced, soaked overnight in 3/4 of a cup of red wine and 5 lightly crushed juniper berries, 1 onion finely sliced, half a cup of heavy cream, 1 cup of white wine, 6 lightly crushed green peppercorns, 1 pumpkin peeled and cubed, about half a cup of mealy meal, here we're using yellow corn grits, and 4 tablespoons of butter divided. And then for our avocado peanut salad, we'll need 3 tablespoons of lemon juice, 1 teaspoon of grated ginger, half a teaspoon of salt, 2 avocados which will be cut into 1/2-inch cubes, and half a cup of crushed peanuts. That looks really good. Let me give you a note on that mealy meal, however. Mealy meal is a porridge usually made with coarse cornmeal, a lot coarser than you'll find cornmeal generally speaking, more along the lines of grits or polenta. From what I have found, generally it's a white coarse cornmeal. I couldn't find a white coarse cornmeal, especially not under quarantine conditions where I can't go out for too long or too far. So unfortunately we had to use yellow cornmeal. I hope that's okay because it's gonna be really good. And now we need to get cooking. Into a large pot, place the pumpkin and the mealy meal and cover it with water and boil it for about 30 minutes or until the pumpkin is soft. Meanwhile, heat a skillet over medium heat and add the butter, and then add the onions, and then sweat the onions until just nut brown, about 10 minutes. And when ready, add the heavy cream, white wine, and green peppercorns. Season with salt and pepper. Bring to a gentle simmer, and add a little arrowroot if the sauce is too thin. Finally, add butter to a skillet heated to medium-high, and cook the marinated steaks by flash frying the meat for about 2 minutes. Note ostrich is very lean, so do not overcook it as it will become very dry. Into a large bowl, place the lemon juice, ginger, salt, and stir to combine. Add the avocado pieces and the peanuts. Mix lightly. Cover and chill until serving. Plate the salad in bowls. Dress with torn cilantro leaves. Drain off the excess liquid from the pumpkin and plate it. Plate the ostrich steaks around the mash. Drizzle the cream sauce on top. Wipe plates and serve. How'd that all turn out? Well, number one, let's get to that ostrich steak before we get to anything else because that was really good. I'm really glad I was able to get ostrich steak. I found a good purveyor of it, which was not $79 a pound, so yay. Now, ostrich steak is very, very lean, and I cooked it very, very quickly, and it tasted really good. My only problem was that it took too long from the time it got on the plate to the time that we ate it, so it got kind of cold, but it was really delicious because that flavor of the red wine and the juniper in it was just really scrumptious, and the pumpkin and cornmeal mixture on top was also really, really nice, and it mixed really nicely with the ostrich. Now, the cream sauce on top was nice in terms of the sauce. However, we felt that the onions, I probably sliced them too thickly. They need to be even thinner, and maybe they need to be caramelized even more, but I really liked it, so I'm gonna give that one 4 out of 5 globes. Really nice. I'd like to try it again with better timing. But now we need to talk about that avocado salad because that was really stupendous. It was really, really bright and fresh. It had that really sharp flavor of the lemon and the ginger, and the peanuts gave a nice bit of crunch to go with the softness of the avocado. It was just so, so good. I need to find a way to make that on a bigger scale so I can serve it to more people before it goes brown, but I think the lemon juice takes care of that. So that does it for this brief stint back here in Africa. Next time we go north across the Mediterranean Sea, up into the Arctic, to try our hands once more at Scandinavian food. Will I destroy it, or will it come out well again? Because we will be cooking the food of Sweden. Hope to see you then. And remember, if you'd like to be advised when these videos are posted, please be sure to follow us on Periscope. You can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Like and subscribe if you'd like to be advised when these videos are posted, and be sure to hit that bell to get those notifications. Remember, links to the original recipes can be found in the About section. If you have any thoughtful feelings or helpful suggestions about the food we're eating, please be sure to sound off in the comments. Thanks for watching, and happy eating!